What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to Midwest Test Fishing. Today we are going to be taking a look at what's in my tackle box for 2024. Now when I say tackle box, I mean literally a box full of tackle. This is the essentials that I keep in my car so that as I'm driving around, if I see a creek or a pond or some juicy looking watering hole, I can just get out, grab a lure, and go out and fish. There are a lot of lures in this box. So typically I'm not taking all of them fishing with me. I'll also carry an old backpack like this and I'll just stuff it with whatever I think will work. So I want you guys to comment down below what lures look good and what lures do you guys think I should add before starting the fishing season.
Right, so this is what we have got for our Ned rig soft plastics. So Biospun Exo Ned, Guggen Radlin Ned, which these are actually pretty bad. Don't really care for these. This is a Savage Gear Goby tube. So they're shaped like gobies and they have kind of tails that you would have on a tube, and they're made out of Elastec as well. A big bag of Z-Man Elastec plastics. We've got different kinds. There's like the Tickler, the Hog, the regular TRD. Some of them are in different colors, but you don't want to store these with other plastics because when they get warm, they'll just melt and turn into a blob of goop. So I take them all out and just have them in one bag together. These are X-Zone, Ned Zone baits, so these have a nice bulbous tail, just kind of a bigger presentation and a bigger action. Next, moving on to the stick baits, we've got a lot more of these. Guggen Lunker logs in different sizes. Let's see. Yeah, there we are. So we've got them in a 6-inch, 5-inch, and 4-inch right here. These work phenomenal. Caught a lot of smallmouth bass on them. Great bait. This is the Biospun Exo Stick. It's got those ridges in there, so it's a unique design. It's Strike King Yum and Gary Yamamoto Senkos. And Berkeley Power Bait. For creature baits, I've got two styles. I've got bugs, so we've got the Guggen Bandito Bug and Strike King Rage Bug. And we also have the hog style baits. So this is the big bite baits. It doesn't even say what it is, but it's like a baby brush hog you can kind of see, and then the Guggen Trench Hog. Prefer to fish with these. These are slimmer, and that's nice, but the tentacles really rip off quite easily. For flukes or soft plastic jerk baits, we've got the Yum Breakin' Shad, the classic Zoom Super Fluke, and then the Guggen Baits 5-inch dart. Right here we've got the worms. These are spiked worms, so they're like straight tail finesse worms. These are the Brendan Miller signature designed spike worms. We've got 2 packages of Guggen Mondo worms. So this is their curly tail worm. And then we also have the classic Berkeley Power Bait Power Worm as well. For tubes, we have got the Zoom Super Tube, the Guggen Baits Dube Tube, and the Biospun Vial Tube. Swim baits, we've got a lot of these. This is the Brendan Miller signature swim bait, so 3.5 inches, and it's really the shad kind of pattern where it's flat and slim. Got 2 of the Guggen Saucy Swimmers, both in the 3.8 and the 4-inch bait. These are Biospun Exo Swims. These are, I don't even know what you call them, Lucky John floating swim baits. Really not good. I only use them for demonstration purposes when I am showing an example of when I'm showing how to rig a swim bait, mainly because I would never use these, so I don't mind tearing them up during demonstrations. This is bio bait, so these have a plant-based material and they're supposed to dissolve better. They're also really cool. They look a lot like the real deal. Strike King Rage Swimmers. And these are like micro swim baits. This is the big bite baits, and really the body is too thick for the tail, so the tail never has any action, and you have to work it kind of like a jerk bait to get any action out of it. You have to reel it in quickly or fling it quickly as well. For drop shot baits, we have got the Guggen Dragon Drop, and then these are the Biospawn Plasma Tails. We've got the Craws, so some Berkeley Power Bait Chigger Craws, Guggen Cracking Craws, 1000 Fish Saw Craws, and some of these big bite baits. I don't even know what you call them. They're just standard cheap things. And this is what I would call miscellaneous. So these are smart baits. So they kind of have like, I don't even know what you'd call it. They look just like that. I don't know what kind of design you would call that, but they're supposed to change color by the temperature of water that you're fishing them in. Got some Berkeley Gillies, which I guess you could put in the swim bait, but I feel like they're kind of their own thing. These are Z-Man Goats, so they're kind of Topwater. I'm not 100% sure how you use them. And then we have got 10,000 Fish Yoda Worms. So these are like trailers for your chatterbaits. This is the kind of trout, panfish, and all other species. So we've got some Berkeley Gulp night crawlers, some power bait balls for stocked trout. We've got some spinners. This came in a mystery tackle box and a rooster tail. And then some Berkeley Gulp minnows. These are all dried out, but these ones are still in good shape. Some Yum curly tail grubs. These are some big bite bait tubes, great for crappie and other panfish. And then this is just a small bag of like trout magnets and other things that are also great for crappie, panfish, small bass, and bluegill. For my fly box, I don't use it all that often, but I have it sorted mainly by the size of flies. So I have some streamers with some muddler minnows, some kind of like bee looking ones, then a series of worms, red worms, some nymphs, and then some egg-shaped ones. On the other side are more of the larger flies and dry flies. So there's like a grasshopper, some gardener spiders. There's an ant down there. There's also some crabs, poppers, other dry flies. So it's just a variety. Moving on to the crankbait box. Here is just some miscellaneous crankbaits that kind of come in mystery tackle boxes or whatnot. Still nice. Got micro crankbaits, rebel crankbait, some other small ones for real finesse, smaller jerkbaits, larger jerkbaits, square bills. Have a lot of square bills. These are some big deep diving crankbaits. Have Rapala minnows here. Deep diving big square bill. These are just some cheap, everyday, small crankbaits. You can get these at Walmart. They're called the Crappie Crank for about $3 a piece. Excellent value, especially if you're fishing around a lot of rocks where these can get snagged and broken off. You're not losing high-value crankbaits. Lipless crankbaits here, along with 2 KVD square bills. Now for terminal tackle with hooks and whatnot, we have got small down here in the corner, small little jig heads for panfish. Got a whole bunch of snaps, swivels, and micro panfish hooks, which shouldn't be in there. Some bigger jig heads. A whole bunch of Ned jig heads here. 2 jig heads, circle hooks, weighted belly hooks, drop shot hooks, flipping hooks, EWG hooks, worm hooks, kind of like the underspins. And here's just for tackle modification, so different pins and blades that can be screwed in. We've got some skirted nail weights and rattle chambers and skirt collars. We've got wacky hooks, some weighted and weedless ones. Here we've got a whole bunch of shaky heads. These are weedless Ned heads. So some have a weed guard and some are just that EWG style. Got some bigger swimbait hooks. Another miscellaneous thing. This is like a headbanger thing that came in a mystery tackle box. Stinger hook for jigs or spinnerbaits. And we've got the big jigs, so football jigs, swim jigs, and then we've got the more finesse kind of micro jigs. Then we've got the miscellaneous box, so this has Topwater and other things. We've got a container of frogs, have just miscellaneous hard baits. This is a Topwater. This is another Topwater frog that I didn't go out and buy, just got them in like a mystery tackle box. Some hard, soft hybrid swim baits. So like this 10,000 fish head hunter. Another thing that I don't even know what you call this. Got some inline spinners, so a big Meps one. Shout out to Victor, my friend who works at a car wash, found this, fell out of someone's truck, gave it to me. Some other rooster tails. And then here we've got spinner baits. A lot of these my roommate's dad made. This is another one that he made. Got some Topwater buzz baits here. Some other spinner baits as well. This knuckle bait has, like, instead of a blade, it has a ball that makes a noise. Got a whopper plopper and a chatterbait. These are just some other things that aren't really tackle itself, but that I also carry with me. So I've got my polarized sunglasses. This is a zoom chartreuse stick, so you can color dye onto your lures. Got some fingernail clippers for clipping knots, some super glue, some vice grips. These are really helpful for taking out treble hooks and hooks that are kind of deep in fish like panfish, and scissors as well. I also always carry my GoPro. This is a GoPro Hero 9, and with it is a media kit, so it has a microphone with it, extra batteries, and also a battery charger.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Go ahead, if you haven't yet, drop down a comment if you enjoy this kind of video. Also drop down below what kinds of lures you guys will be throwing this spring.